Guys, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Geneva. This is Geneva in General. And I have some very unfortunate news that I want to share with you guys today because I feel like there's a silver lining message that we can all learn from this. But it has been reported that LSU wide receiver, former wide receiver, unfortunately he's no longer with us, Kyren Lacy, I believe is how it's pronounced, has more than likely, allegedly, I want to say, has taken his own life late last night in Houston, Texas. And when I tell you my entire timeline is just shattered. Again, I came upon the news early this morning. I wanted to wait until more information and details had, came out, surrounding his death, his untimely death, the circumstances. He's only 24 years old. Of course, Angel Reese, she was once attending LSU. So I'm sure, more than sure, obviously, that she had a relationship with him as a friendship on a friendship level. And she just has also taken to social media to give her condolences and grieve. This is an article by Athlon Sports titled "Angel Reese's Reaction to Death of Former LSU Wide Receiver Kyren Lacy." The LSU Tigers suffered a tragic loss on Sunday as former wide receiver Kyren Lacy died at the age of 24. Lacy passed away in Houston, Texas, early Sunday morning. He faced legal issues back in December, accused of causing a crash that led to the death of another person. Authorities mentioned that the wide receiver fled the scene, which led to multiple charges. He was supposed to stand in front of a grand jury on Monday. Lacy spent 3 seasons in Baton Rouge from 2022 to 2024. In his fifth year, he saw his draft stock rise, recording 58 catches for 866 yards and 9 touchdowns. Some projections even had him as a second-day pick despite the legal troubles. Before she was grabbing double-doubles in the WNBA, Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese was an All-American at LSU. Both Lacy and Reese transferred to play for the Tigers in 2022, but Lacy stayed a year longer. Reese reacted to the heartbreaking news of Lacy's passing with multiple posts on Twitter highlighting the importance of mental health. She tweeted, "Rest in peace, Kyren. So sad, man. Mental health is real," Reese added on a separate post. "Check on your people. You never know what someone is going through." I don't know who needs to hear this, but keep going. You got this, she wrote in a third post. Before transferring to LSU, Lacy played football for Louisiana for 2 seasons. He didn't see the end zone in the 2022 season, but started to break out for the Tigers in 2023. Again, guys, this is very, very unfortunate news. Again, he's only 24 years of age. They said that he was projected to possibly be drafted into the NFL as a number 1 overall pick. And to see him being such, it's hard to explain, like not like I'm gonna just say in desperate need of, like, just fleeing this plane of existence with the anxiety surrounding his upcoming trial. Again, it was supposed to be tomorrow, Monday. He was due to go to trial due to him causing a fatal collision back in December. They said that he actually caused the death of he was an elderly man, I believe in his 70s, along with his dog. Okay, it was an elderly man who was a Marine Corps veteran. Okay, the man used to be in the military, and he actually was allegedly, again from what I've researched in the articles, Mr. Lacy was literally driving, like weaving through the lanes, and he actually caused a head-on collision with that elderly man who was a Marine Corps veteran. And him and his dog are now no longer here. And unfortunately, instead of, again, this is all alleged, instead of Lacy staying behind that scene, staying there, trying to check on that man, trying to, call the appropriate people, EMT, ambulance, 911. They said, unfortunately, it was a hit and run. So he caused a collision head on, allegedly, and just fled the scene. Didn't even check on the man's dog. And it's a mess, okay? Now, obviously, it appears as though he was going through, he was dealing with guilt, okay? And who wouldn't, okay? So that's a normal human response in a situation like this. But again, this goes to show about, like I always say with these athletes, okay? When you are an athlete, but specifically when you're a human being, okay, that's first and foremost, okay? When you're an adult. But when you are an athlete at the collegiate level, I kind of consider collegiate level football, basketball being professional, right? At the pro level, you're almost there. He was projected to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft pick. This man was a professional football player. Let's keep it real. 24 years of age. It's so important to have discipline, responsibility, and accountability. What would cause him to be weaving in between the lanes like that? Just reckless. That's pretty much a reckless driver. You cause a head-on collision. This man is no longer with us, and then you flee the scene. That is just wrong on wrong on wrong. That's just, straight up and down, simple and plain. I can't, describe it in any better than what I just did. And then when it comes to accountability, see, this is the thing. And it kind of makes me angry at, not to say like it's their fault, but it's like, where was his people? Grandfather, father, big brother, big uncle, the grandparents, somebody. It's like, who was trying to give this young man some wisdom, some counsel, some guidance on, how to maneuver through this situation? Again, it's very interesting to me how, fragile and how strong, how resilient the human, both the human body and the human mind is, right? What situation for you that may be stressful for you could like be like a breeze for me. Like, it's people who like, they lose their mind if they were to wake up tomorrow morning and let's say like they go outside and they have a flat tire. It's like they just like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. I gotta go. I gotta go to work. I gotta take my daughter to her dental appointment. I gotta go out of town for, check on my elderly parents. It's like people, the way people react to stressful situations, stressful environments, situations, it's very telling, how it'll test their, resiliency and their strength, both mentally, emotionally, physically, etc., etc. And it's like, again, he put himself in this situation allegedly, if he was recklessly driving, then he fled the scene, okay, causing an untimely, unfortunate death for this Marine Corps veteran. But it's like, where was the people saying, like, you know what, as a young man, as a professional young athlete, you did what you did, okay, you were not operating in discipline, okay, whatever reason you were, driving recklessly, speeding up and down the street, weaving in between lanes, just like a crazy person. You have to go face the judge. It's time for you to go to trial. It's time to be a man. Let's be a young man. Again, it's time to man up. It's time to be a responsible adult. You have to face this man. He also, again, like his dog went along with him. It's time to at least give condolences, write a letter, not to the judge, not to the DA, the district attorneys, the lawyers, the legal teams. Let's write some letters to his family and friends who loved and knew this man. Okay, we got to start taking accountability. And again, it's unfortunate for Mr. Lacy and his friends and family that this is like the end of his life. This is the end of his story, his chapter, his book, okay, pretty much, right? And it's like, again, with the right guidance, counsel, and like with the right people in his ear, even friends, his peers, the teammates, the coaches, somebody could have taken him, that possibly could have just noticed that he is going through some mental, turmoil, obviously mental anguish. This is really, eating at him. Okay, but that's not the way to do it. Again, like, yes, you have to go to trial. Again, you got to be a man. It's time for us to take accountability. But they seem like he could have possibly still like got drafted over number 2 overall pick. What's the other football player's name? Henry Ruggs. He played for the Las Vegas Raiders. The man took 18 shots at a top golf spot. He was out with his baby mom, his girlfriend. He gets behind the wheel and he caused the death of a 21-year-old. I forgot her name. Tina Tinter, I believe, in Las Vegas. She literally burned alive. It was so sad. And he's still, I believe he's up for parole possibly next year in 2026, which I don't believe is fair at all. I don't agree with it. Like, you were a drunk driver. You're a drunk driver. It's selfish and it's disgusting. I don't know what is going on with like football players and NFL players, but I've always noticed this like for the past 10 years, even when I was like, really, really young. Okay, just like a casual NFL football fan. A lot of football players, obviously they live like violent lives, like on the field, but off the field they're so reckless. You hear about so many DUIs. I hear about so many football players getting killed in car accidents. Just last summer, like I believe in downtown Dallas, it was like 5 NFL players that died in one freaking car, in a car accident because they were speeding. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I remember Jeff Gladney. This was about 2-3 years ago. He and his girlfriend, they unfortunately died in a car crash. Again, it's like, if you pay attention, right? I'm not like a morbid person. At least I don't try to be. But I've noticed it seems like almost every year. Kaiser Gondrezick, guys. Kaiser Gondrezick, again, she used to be a WNBA player for my Chicago Sky. She was a skyscraper. Her sister, Calabria Gondrezick, or now Haskins, she married Dwayne Haskins. Okay, he was a pretty good football player. He was somewhere in Miami for whatever reason. I think like something went wrong with his car. He got out the car in the middle of a very busy freeway highway. It's like 5-6 a.m. in the morning, pitch black outside. He literally got hit by a dump truck in Miami. And it's like, why is it so common for NFL players to live so recklessly? Again, I'm not passing blame. This is a genuine question. It seems like every year, especially when it comes to car accidents, like does anybody else notice a trend? Nobody notices like the DUIs. Aaron Hernandez, like, it's just like, it seems like it's always some conflicts with a lot of football players. Again, like just yesterday, what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Quadarius Davis, whatever his name is, choking on his girlfriend. It's like it's always a lot of like dark energy. It almost appears as like a lot of dark energy seems to follow football players. Again, it seems like there are some like the Tom Brady's or whatever. They seem to have a very peaceful lives. You don't hear about them like in DV incidents, fighting their girlfriends and wives, beating on their kids. And it's a lot that's like, again, Tariq Hill, just a couple days ago. His baby mom, no, his wife, even though she married this man, he got 12 kids by all over the town. She didn't have no children. They now have like a 5-month-old daughter. Tariq Hill's mother-in-law, his wife's mom, called the police on him for DV, saying that she feared for her granddaughter's safety. He had his 5-month-old daughter in his hand. He had gotten to it with his wife. He like rushed over to the balcony like he was about to check the little girl. It's just too much going on. Again, guys, when you are an athlete, when you are a human being, but specifically as a professional athlete, have discipline and accountability. Somebody should have took Mr. Lacy by his hand, okay, his family, his friends, the peers, the coaches. Somebody said, like, listen, what you did was terrible. Okay, but trying to take yourself up out of this life, that's not going to fix nothing. You're just going to cause more pain, trauma, and chaos to your loved ones, to your family and friends, and the team, and et cetera, et cetera. You got a whole life in front of you, okay? More than likely, he would have probably went to trial tomorrow. Maybe get hit with a fine. Maybe do a year or 2 in jail. Who knows? Again, we will never know because he did not give the chance to take accountability. Again, overall, this is a very, very unfortunate situation. I really feel terrible for Mr. Lacy, the Marine veteran that, he caused the death of with the reckless driving, the team, the family, the friends. It's just a mess. This is a mess. But again, I know I'm not the only person who have noticed that a lot of football players, they just seem to just carry such chaotic and dark energy. Let's comment down below your thoughts, okay? Like, what could have happened? Like, what should have happened to prevent this entire tragedy? Again, discipline and accountability will save a lot of us.